Good evening, I'm Nisha Arthur with the CBC Evening News. Government and the Australian firm BHP Billiton Petroleum have signed 2 exploration licenses to search for oil off Barbados. Peter Thorne reports.
The signing ceremony took place at government headquarters this morning with Prime Minister Frundle Stewart initialing on Barbados' behalf, whilst the Vice President of Exploration BHP Billiton, Neil McCormack, signed on behalf of the Australian company, which is based in the United States. Prime Minister Stewart says Barbados firmly believes BHP's strong track record in the oil and gas industry makes it the ideal partner to assist the island in realizing its offshore oil potential.
Signing these 2 exploration licenses will send a clear message to the industry that Barbados is open for business and is serious about the development of its offshore petroleum sector. In addition, Barbadian nationals stand to reap early benefits on execution of the licenses through the negotiated provisions for annual training, scholarships, local content, coastal and marine environment research, and the acquisition of critical equipment and software.
Mr. Stewart says every single Barbadian is a stakeholder in the offshore oil program, noting that government will ensure the benefits derived from offshore oil exploration and production are spread evenly across the social and economic landscape. He says at present, the Woodbourne oil field is showing signs of steady decline, producing around 700 barrels of crude oil and 1.9 million cubic feet of natural gas a day. He says the island's fuel import bill reached a peak of $807 million in 2012, or 9.6% of GDP.
In the event that commercial quantities of hydrocarbons are discovered in the Barbados offshore, our country can transition from being a net importer of fossil fuels to a net exporter within the next decade. It is our aim, however, to ensure that this transition occurs in a manner that is efficient, transparent, sustainable, and free from reproach, keeping well in line with the Barbadian ethos and way of conducting business.
Vice President Exploration BHP Billiton Petroleum, Neil McCormack, says they are optimistic about their chances of discovering oil within the 2 blocks awarded.
The Carlisle Bay and Bimshire blocks lie in a geologic province known as the Barbados Accretionary Prism, in 1,200 to 2,000 metres of water, between 40 and 140 kilometres to the southeast of the island. The acreage covers some 5,000 square kilometres. The exploration process will proceed in phases, with each building on the other and dependent on the previous phase. We will begin to augment our understanding of the complex geology through a new 2D seismic survey program of over 3,200 line kilometres. This survey will be conducted during the initial 3-year phase of the licence. If the results of this initial survey are promising, BHP Billiton may elect to proceed to the next exploration phase to acquire and process approximately 1,500 square kilometres of 3D seismic covering both blocks.
Mr. McCormack says BHP Billiton is looking forward to partnering with government whilst protecting its environment.
BHP Billiton is excited to work with the people of Barbados as we begin the exploration in Barbados deepwater frontier, building on BHP Billiton's success in challenging deepwater exploration around the world. We are hopeful for the bright prospects ahead.
BHP Billiton is the second international oil company to drill for oil in Barbados' waters offshore, following the efforts of ConocoPhillips. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
The Barbados Water Authority is tapping into a major find in St. Philip to meet growing demands of residents in that parish. The utility has discovered fresh underground resources, providing some 3.5 million gallons of water per day. Minister of Water Resources Dr. David Estwick made the announcement today at the official groundbreaking ceremony of the BWA Water and Sanitation Systems Upgrade Project, Package B and C.
And so far, 6 wells have been dug and will go into operation after electricity has been installed and the pumps placed and testing completed. That project was to find 3.5 million gallons of water per day to supplement the needs of water for the St. Philip and Christchurch catchment areas, and that has been found.
And there's more good news from Dr. Estwick. He revealed that the BWA project transferring water from the desalination plant on Spring Garden to the southeast of the country is almost complete and will be finished within the 12-month time frame allotted.
By that time, 3 pipelines totaling 19 kilometers will be installed. So far, a pipeline from Bell to Bussa, more than 2,000 meters of pipeline has been installed. And it is on time and on budget. From Fort George to Searles, 98% or more than 6,000 meters of pipeline has been installed. And
the Sargassum seaweed covering much of Barbados' coastline is now the biggest challenge facing fishermen, and they're sending an SOS to authorities to intervene before the industry is severely damaged. Kent Jerson has that story.
Like a thick blanket, the dreaded Sargassum seaweed covers the inner harbor at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex.
The scent coming out here murdering the fishermen.
And it's more than a smelly, unsightly nuisance, according to Fanny and the other fishermen who ply their trade here on a daily basis. The seaweed is now threatening their livelihood.
I come in there last night about 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the morning time, right? I had to feel my way through the mud. Each time I put the boat in gear and moving, I got the chili webs on the boat. Going forward, coming back, or it's just to get here. And when we get here, the boat shut down. Too much moss in the sea car.
And while coming in was difficult, going back out, he says, is virtually impossible.
To move a boat right now with this moss, you're damaging the engine because it cannot cool. The sea car taking all the moss. The tide lower and the moss coming down in the corner and compacting. Some is about 3 to 4 feet deep.
Fanny has this suggestion for the authorities.
To move the entrance to get into the complex. Move the entrance from the east and put it somewhere else that will shift the moss on the way down. It will bypass the entrance.
Another fisherman, Cedric, believes in the meantime the fishermen should help themselves.
Everybody come together and clean it up. I know it's better to know God, it's messy.
But help is coming. A senior official at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex tells CBC News they intend to address the situation within the next 2 weeks. The official, who preferred not to be named, says having the inner harbor cleaned of everyday garbage is expensive, and what's needed now will be a bigger undertaking and cost even more. But it has to be done. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Retrenched National Conservation Commission workers who opted not to have their cases heard by the tribunal have started receiving their severance payments. Confirmation of this from Minister of the Environment and Drainage, Dr. Dennis Slow. He says 56 of the 85 workers entitled to severance pay had already collected their checks, while the remaining 29 have to collect theirs from the NCC. Dr. Lowe thanked the Minister of Finance and staff from his ministry and the NCC for expediting the payments. Dr. Lowe also praised the Barbados Workers Union for being sufficiently sensitive to the challenges workers and the Commission faced in bringing closure to this part of the process. We'll have more news for you in just a moment.
When you need freedom to express yourself, there's nothing like the home you own. Let Scotiabank open the door for you with advice and payment options that match your budget. Visit us today. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
A test of character. A test of focus. A test of will. A test of resilience. A test of courage. Barbados. The test is on. West Indies, England, May 1st at the Mecca. Tickets $30, $40, $50, and $60. It's on.
Are you Barbados is on?
When it feels right, you will feel like there's no place in the world that you'd rather be. Jimmy Cliff, Ferris Hammond, Flo Rida, Robin Thicke, Estra's gonna make you whine. Project Steve will blow your mind. Timberline, let's go. Joey DeFrancesco, don't need to waste more time. You can buy tickets online.
St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, April 30th to May 10th. Visit stluciajazz.org for more information.
A government minister has highlighted the importance of developing entrepreneurship and fostering innovation. He says these two are essential to helping diversify the Barbadian economy. Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development Donville Innes says the two can create the appropriate enabling environment and stability. He says there are many benefits to accrue from a rapidly expanding economy.
As a region, we continue to face seemingly unsurmountable challenges as our economies transition away from what some will call the old economies that were heavily dependent upon traditional low-value commodities towards becoming a modern knowledge-based economy that can compete and thrive in a rapidly changing world where there is inexhaustible demand for high-end luxury or niche market products and services for which consumers are willing to pay a premium price.
Mr. Innes was speaking at the opening of a regional policy dialogue on science, technology, and innovation at the Hilton Hotel. In attendance were representatives from the Inter-American Development Bank, business leaders, and representatives of regional governments. He sees the theme, Rethinking Productive Development Policies for the Caribbean, as timely, especially during these tough economic times.
It certainly underscores the relevance of this particular topic, given the region's desire and need for timely intervention in addressing many of the macroeconomic challenges that prevail our economies, and indeed many of the challenges that confront the private sector in the region. To my mind, the importance of this event is evidenced by a global economic crisis, which is very deep and prolonged, which has certainly increased the urgency for countries around the world to identify new sources of growth.
New activities have been included in the lineup for this year's season of emancipation. Cultural officials provided an insight as to what's in store as the season, which runs from April 14th to August 23rd, was officially launched last evening at Independence Square. It was a double celebration of sorts, as Barbados also paid tribute to its 10 national heroes. This came in the form of song, dance, and spoken word. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Ruth Blackman, says the season is not only a time for reflection, but it is important to Barbados. She says successive generations have made it because of what occurred back then.
The emancipation of Barbadians is not a one-off action. It is ongoing. And it is this ongoing process that makes the launching of the season on this day, National Heroes Day, so special. All of our national heroes have made their contribution to the emancipation process. From the Right Excellent Busser to the Right Excellent Sir Garfield Sobers, our only living hero.
Minister of Education Ronald Jones says the season of emancipation is punctuated by many significant social milestones in the history of Barbados. Mr. Jones also recognized the contributions of hundreds of other unsung heroes who, he says, helped to develop Barbados and its people.
We know who they are. We recognize them from our association with our own villages, from within our own communities. They fed the poor. They look after the vulnerable and the marginalized. From their meager resources, they sent many of us to school and clothed many a child and participated in the life of this nation in ways that have made a difference in our society.
The much-awaited University City campus is getting closer to reality. In fact, if all goes according to plan, the first set of students could be in place by the end of this year. This is according to Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice-Chancellor-designate and outgoing principal of the UWI Cayfield campus, who made the disclosure during a wide-ranging press conference. He says the university is set to officially take possession of the old Mutual building at Lower Broad Street that will house the city campus.
The students who will enter into that facility will receive a significant part of their classes from the Cayfield campus. You just beam the lectures and the seminars into the city campus. They go into a lecture theater or seminar in the city, and they receive their instruction through video conferencing from here. They do not have to come to KFIL campus. They can go into the city campus, receive their instruction directly from the classrooms at KFIL.
Meanwhile, Sir Hilary says the city campus will not end with the Mutual building. The university will also be seeking to follow through on a promise made by government to allocate the old NIS building to the university as well.
The old NIS building, they said the NIS building will be allocated to the University of the West Indies in short time. We are speaking to Minister Kelman about this, and we are looking forward to having access to that building so that we can also expand the city offerings and to bring more academic and commercial life into the city.
Still to come, we'll look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter at CBC_newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC News Barbados.
Your granny might have said it, but it's so true. One hand can't clap, one hand can't clap. New world, new style, the truth working for you. One hand can't clap, one hand can't clap. Let's collaborate and cooperate. Be a team player, do the job better, working together, doing together. One hand can't clap, one hand can't clap.
Celebrating the power of teamwork. A message from Mayday from the Barbados Workers Union.
Shopping in the Sky is simply delicious at our mouth-watering brand new Sky Food Court. Our amazing spread includes Little Pleasures ice cream, coffee, and desserts, authentic Asian cuisine at Waldy's Walk, delectable Greek dining at Opa Express, a range of sumptuous Caribbean dishes at Tamarind of the Islands, and the very best of Bajan cuisine and pastries. Compliments Master Chef Peter Edie and his delightful pastry house and Peter Patties. Plus, we've got the world-renowned fast food giant Burger King. You cannot pass Haggett Hall and not join us for a quick, delicious meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at our brand new food court only at Sky Mall, where when it comes to great